Okay. Well, before I jumped in the studio, I'd always battled with my weight going up and down over the years, and I'd had highs on the weight loss, and I'd do sort of a big chunk of weight in a relatively short space of time, and then I'd have massive gains. Over COVID, my weight went to probably the heaviest I've ever been, and I don't mind saying that weight was in the high 30s, so it was a massive amount of weight. And then I knocked on the GP store, and the GP was like, look, you got to do something about this. So accessed a couple of NHS resources, and locally did a bit of research locally, and almost stumbled across sort of Harry and Hugo. I tried sort of going to the gym on my own, so I tried a couple of local gyms. I'd also tried PT, which is actually really expensive, good but really expensive, and coming across these guys, it was cost effective. The studio and what they put in is way better than I think, say, cost effective, way better than many other methods. And as I came along, I got to get to know the community, the people a little bit more. Harry and Hugo become sort of real important sources of knowledge and support. And I've lost about 8.5 stone since Christmas last year. So I've still got to probably do another chunk of weight to come off, but 8.5 stone, what that means to me is probably mobility, so I can walk around the shopping, do my shopping with a car without getting out of breath. I can walk from my car to the office without getting out of breath. I can do normal activities, and even things like getting in and out of the shower when you're at a massive weight was really difficult. So these guys taught me the strength, taught me the motivation, or help me find the motivation, and recognise that falling off the track every now and again is going to happen, but there's the support here a couple of times, 2 or 3 times a week, and it's absolutely there. So the weight loss was a big thing. Eventually I'll probably have bigger goals, but now it's a case of replicating what I've done rather than doing it over a very short space of time, like 6 weeks, 6 months. I've done this in the last, I've been with them since nearly January, so coming on for a year. It really is, and again, it's somebody who's tried every sprinting way to do it possible. It really is a marathon. It just happens I've got fitness support, I've got nutritional advice, I've got a community, and I really, really value that. I'd say frustrations for me were probably, when you're 25, you can't even see 26. I'm over 40 now, and I think when you're 40, you can see 60, 70, and you realise that this body's not going to last you forever. And I'd say the frustrations were in COVID and during the times of where you get massive periods of inactivity. You don't put your suit on, you don't put normal clothes on, and kind of like I wasn't aware that I was losing the muscle tone. I wasn't aware that I was losing dexterity and strength, and gaining so much weight because everything was designed to be comfortable and at home. So the frustrations were when the world went back to normal, or tried to get back to normal, trying to fit suits on again didn't work, and trying to even just literally doing walking around the shopping centre with a shopping cart was really difficult. The personal activities where I need to rely on myself to do, I couldn't do them. So coming here was like, look, it was like almost like one of those, say, last chance saloon. It was I've got to do something about it now, and it's got to be long term and meaningful, which means steady, and that means I'm not going to lose half a stone in a week. It means a little bit of weight every single week. It's coming off slowly, but now it's such a joy to go to the supermarket, park my car, walk around the shop, stand in the queue, and not be soaking wet and sweating afterwards. So it's those things that are significant milestones that I really, really value. The little things like squatting. When I first came, I had to get the bands, and I struggled with doing one squat. Then I had this block that was sat on right now, and then the block's got 3 different heights. So you do the highest height, the middle height, and then the lowest height, and then you do it away from the block. But what squatting actually means in a real life situation is getting up out my office chair without having to use the arms, getting into smaller office chairs, because the chairs around the boardroom, they've got little arms, so being able to fit into a normal sized chair and be inconspicuous. So people see, they don't say, but they see big people struggling, but they don't necessarily say anything about it, but you're really aware of yourself. So just being able to do the normal people things without being sweating or being totally exhausted, or not being able to sit in a normal chair outside. Those are the things that are absolute ticks in the boxes for me. And being able to tell these guys that I'm struggling this week, or it isn't just the sessions that you're in, they become part of they join you on your journey. They always keep up their end of the bargain, and I'll be honest, I fall back sometimes and don't necessarily keep up my end of the bargain, because I might go for a takeaway, I might have 2 takeaways, but they're always keeping their end of the bargain up, and I can knock on that door and they'll go the extra mile for me, and again, I value it. I would say a couple of things. Okay, I'd say the first thing is that you get all the benefits of a gym. Or let's go back. I'd say what I can't do is get injured. I cannot get injured. If I get injured, I cannot carry on with my fitness journey. So what is different is that whereas I go into a normal gym, I'm kind of knowing what I'm doing because I might have had PT previously, or I watch a YouTube video. But in the studio, it's a small enough setting for them to see exactly what I'm doing, and to mitigate the risk that I might injure myself, they've got their eye on me constantly. So in this setting, I can gain strength and I can condition my body without any risk of injury. In a mainstream gym, that's just not possible. Or if you have PT, it's financially just arbitrarily blocking me. So that's the first thing. Number 2, I would say, the equipment that they have in the gym and the facilities that they've got are world class. And I've been in plenty of gyms, some of the the budget ones, some of the the city centre ones where they've got spas and swimming pools and everything. The equipment that they've got in here is world class. They are constantly looking to upskill themselves, the trainers. So I'm forever hearing one of the guys saying he's on a course, or one of the guys is on some kind of training. They're looking for ways to innovate, they're looking for ways to upskill, so I can turn up, I can work in the various different zones. I don't have to necessarily think, I can just, and again, I've got a busy job, I've got a busy life, I never have 2 minutes to rub together, so these guys are kind of doing the thinking for me. They've got structure, they've got balance, and they've got the community, but it's all still on my shoulders, but they're keeping up their end of the bargain every single time, so I really value that. And you can do add-ons on the service. So today, this month, they're doing On It October, so I'm doing an extra session a week, which is killing me. They do things like diet plans, nutrition plans, and there's all various different ways you can access their services. But if you say try one and then it isn't right for you, they don't pull away. They still keep on giving. So it's a really useful, powerful way of trying to find what method of training and what method of diet works for me, and they back me up doing it. It's fantastic. 100%, I would say. I was aware at work, going back into the office environment, going back into the work environment, where I was aware of my office chair. My office chair was almost like my barometer of, or my benchmark of how my fitness is going and how my fitness is improving. So, I always remember, when I first got there, I was like getting up, I had to almost like press the arms in, so much so that they'd almost buckle trying to get myself out of the chair. And over the course of a relatively short period of time, I was putting I was using the arms on the chair less and less to get up out of my chair. Then it was a case of really actively, consciously trying to get up out of the office chair without using the arms at all. And now I just get up and out of a chair like, I don't know, I don't even think about it now, but I do think back of those times, and I definitely don't want to be in those shoes again. Being at the worst of the worst that you're in, and then getting to a median point is great, but still many other goals I want to hit. But that point there, I think having that measure of the office chair, people around me, I'm fortunate, I've got a wonderful work family, I've got a wonderful gym family. The people that are around me care about me, and I don't like to see them seeing me struggle. So for them to see me not struggle, doing a normal, benign thing such as getting out of the chair, is actually really helpful and actually really motivating, knowing that I'm not, people aren't seeing me struggle. I'd say the community comes from so I incorporated some of my friends into joining me in the gym in this setting here. So a couple of times a week, some of my friends come along and train with me. But then there's also the community of people that are attending the gym with you. And I'd say the community, when you're looking around the room, you're not in a room full of fitness Adonises. You're in a room full of ordinary people with ordinary lives, busy people that have just got exactly the same kind of challenges as you. They've got just the same kind of stresses as you. Some of them have got lots of kids, and they juggle busy work lives, and they juggle kids, and they do all that kind of stuff. And it's amazing to actually see and get to know the people and realise that they are just as fallible as you, but they're still here, they're still doing it, and yeah, you get the continuity of them coming to the same sessions as you, and then meeting new people. They're really good at sort of introducing new people to the fold. So I'd say that you're on a journey, you're on an adventure with people here, and those guys leading the adventure are constantly thinking of the ways to innovate it, constantly thinking of the ways to give me variety, constantly thinking of ways to make it a better experience from the moment you walk in the door to the moment you go back to your life. And being part of that community is great. Everybody's behind Harry and Hugo, and Harry and Hugo are absolutely behind everybody, and that's great.
Brilliant.
I've lost so far 8.5 stone since December last year. What is life like? I have the mobility to do normal people things. I can shop, I can get in and out of the car, I can get in and out of the car without distress and discomfort. I can get in and out of the bathtub, no problem. I can look after my basic needs. I can do normal, active things. I went to standing up straight was another one. Like standing up used to be really difficult, but I went to a concert yesterday, probably on my feet for about an hour and a half. Had a great time. Wasn't breaking or buckling underneath it. So just being able to do normal things and remembering how much I appreciate doing normal things is a great thing. And then but there's more normal things I want to do, and it's actually a case of, it's not about, for me, running a marathon. It's not about sort of being on the cover of FHM magazine. That's not going to happen. But I feel that I can find happiness in the skin that I'm in. When I look back and see in the mirror every single day, I like even more. I'm happy with the journey that I'm on, and I know that I'm getting stronger. I know that I'm getting a little bit slimmer. So yeah, I really, my goals are part of their goals, so it's great.
Brilliant.
The biggest differentiator, I would say, is it's really hard to pick one thing out because there is so many big differentiators. I would say that the guys who run FS46, those guys champion it, and those guys are the ones that are the biggest difference. They are on the coalface with me. If I need them to get down and show me how to do something, I'll do it. But they're behind me in every activity. If I'm a text, if I'm a call, it isn't just about rocking up at the gym and doing a bit of exercise. It becomes part of your lifestyle.